Hi, it's Rob from the Brush and Boltgun. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to paint the ruins of Osgiliath. Very quick and simple method, only uses a few colours and looks great at the end. If you'd like to support me, my Ko-fi and Patreon page are linked below, and please like, comment and subscribe, it really helps the videos. Now onto the video. So this is the finished piece of terrain. This is what it's going to look like at the end. Really cool scenery, this Osgiliath scenery. So very impressed with all the brickwork and things like that on it, but once you get a lick of paint on it, it looks even better. The first colour we're going to do is Citadel Apothecary White Contrast. We are just going to go over all of the brickwork with this. So just the walls, you're going to leave the floor and the wooden parts. So just the walls, give a good coat of this. The terrain itself has been sprayed with just a white spray paint. I think it was the TT Combat stuff, but Games Workshop spray, TT Combat, any of those kind of sprays will do the trick. Or if not, brush paint it white with a big brush, and then apply the Apothecary White Contrast. Now I'm going to use a little blast of Citadel Gor-Grunta Fur Contrast. I'm going to use this just to do all of the little bits of wooden planks. Now if you wanted to, you could do them slightly lighter colour and give them a bit of rot with some shades and things like that. Because it's just terrain and I wanted to do a nice quick video for it, I'm just going to use this to get the details and the brown colour onto those sections of wood. So as I say, very quick and simple method to do this terrain. So we're not going to go too overboard with it. Next up, we're going to use a tiny little bit of Citadel Seraphim Sepia, and this is going to be just to do some of the kind of window ledges and the flat edges and stuff like that. Just going to give these a really thin coat of this just to stain them a slightly off-white, because that's where you begin the dirt and grime build up. So once you come to re-highlight it and give that the kind of white colour, you'll get rid of loads of this, but it'll just leave that hint of dirt and grime on it before we start adding some more grounding stuff a little bit later. Now we're going to use a little bit of Basilicum grey, and we're just going to use this to do the floor tiles of it. Now if you're doing the floor tiles the same colour as the walls, you can just use Apothecary White. If you want to do it with a bit of grey, I'm using this one. Now when I'm painting this up a little bit later, not much in the way of highlights really, so depending on how you want to put this on, depends on how it will turn out. But we'll be doing a bit of colouring and highlighting on those a little bit later on. Now to reapply the white, we're going to use a little bit of Vallejo White. Use a smaller dry brush, and then we're just going to dry brush this back onto it. Trying to find the angle of the grain on the brickwork and going against that to get the best results for it. On this side I used the Vallejo White, and on the other side I used Citadel Corax White. You can't tell the difference, even though Corax White is a little bit kind of like a light grey. But either or, whatever white you're using, or the Corax White or a really light grey, should do the trick, no problem. Now onto these problem tiles. I'm going to use a little bit of Citadel Mechanica Standard Grey. Thought we'll highlight this or recolour this, but as you can see, it doesn't go over the Basilicum Grey too well, to be honest. It's a slightly dry paint on a kind of very matte finish contrast. So what I would probably do is skip the Mechanica Standard Grey that I'm using here and just go straight onto the Dawnstone, which is the next part, just to highlight what you've put down. So after a bit of effort, we've got the Mechanica Standard Grey on there. Now I'm going to use a little bit of Dawnstone just to do some light dry brushing on these parts, just to pick out some of the details. Now if you wanted to, you could use a bit of Dawnstone, or even go so far as to use a bit of Administratum Grey just to pick out the edges on some of those details, but as it is just scenery, I'm not going too overboard on it. With the basic stuff done, we're now going to go on to Citadel Athonian Camoshade, We're going to go right the way around the bottom. We're going to have some slightly higher parts of this green going up where you've got those sticking out bits of the wall. So you can do it going up those bits a little bit higher, and then maybe about 1 brick or so high for the rest of the time. That just makes it look like the damp is collecting in the corners. You can also do this on the tops of some of the little bits of brickwork too, but you want to go right the way around this whole base of this, and then any sections of the walls that you want to put it on, like the first floor too. See the underside there? I haven't painted up all of those planks because you're never going to see them in a game. Next up, Citadel Agrax Earthshade, and we are going to use this as the final shade just to add a little bit of dirt to these kind of areas. Go right the way around the bottom, adding the dirt to the areas where you've put the Athonian Camoshade, but not up as high. And if you are applying this to anywhere and you get a little blob somewhere you don't want it, just use your thumb or something just to quickly wipe it off, and it won't make the blindest bit of difference to you. And this is the finished terrain piece. Other than the drying times, it's really quick to do. You can get your scenery looking really good on the tabletop in no time at all. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content. Also, think about subscribing to some of our other social media, linked below. Thanks very much. If you like the channel and you enjoy the content and you'd like to support me, please like, comment and subscribe on the video. My Ko-fi and Patreon pages are linked below. Thanks very much.